So okay, in the last session we talked about editing programs. We mentioned iMovie. There are equivalents. If you're going to pay some money, you can buy software like Premiere or Final Cut Pro. These are professional pieces of software that professionals use. If you're at an amateur level, as I'm guessing you are if you're watching this, then iMovie or equivalent will do all the basic stuff you need. So editing in itself is an art and a skill and a craft that takes years and years to learn. There is a pace to editing, there is a feel to editing that it's almost impossible to convey verbally. The more you edit, the more you will grasp the concept of good editing. But crucially, what I would say is the key to good editing is the edits should be invisible. The audience shouldn't notice that there is a shot change. The shot should be revealed to them as they expect them. So every shot change should be motivated subconsciously in the audience's mind. So as you edit, you need to edit as a member of the audience. What would you want to see at that moment? And how long, realistically, how long do you want to look at that shot for? Now we know you traveled for 2 hours to get to a location to get a shot of the sun going down at that point, but do you really, as a member of the audience, want to sit there and watch that shot for 30 minutes? Or will a 5-second shot of the sun going down be enough? Now, if you've driven for 2 hours to get there and then you stood there for 2 hours filming the sun setting, you may well feel that the audience should sit there and share your art. But I can tell you now, they won't. They will switch off. So be critical with your own material. Be realistic about what the audience are going to sit through and what they're going to watch. Because if you're not realistic, they won't watch it. And you know the difference between a film that cost a lot of money, which nobody watches, and a film that never got made? Well, the difference is a stack of money. The end result is still the same. Nobody watched either of them. This one they didn't watch because it was rubbish, and this one they didn't watch because it was never made. The difference is this one cost a stack of money. Well, perhaps in your case, a stack of time too. So make sure you keep that film tight. No matter how long you edit your film down to, if you edit it further and make it tighter, it will always be better. The shorter a film is, the better it is. Leave the audience wanting more. Now, like I've said all along, this is meant to be a fast and efficient way of conveying the very basic information you need in order to make decent films. If you want to go into any of the aspects we're discussing in much more detail, go and check out the masterclasses at school.deanarnett.com, where I go into all of these disciplines in great detail. And certainly editing is something that I need hours, and in the cases of face-to-face classes, we spend days talking through the craft of editing, doing exercises. However, I'm going to give you 2 very basic tips which will help you make a massive leap forward in terms of editing. And those tips are these. Number 1, always cut on the move. Find the biggest move in the matched frame and cut in the middle of that move. So if you're talking about someone sitting down, don't cut between the 2 shots if you have the same shot of them sitting down but from different angles or different size shots. Don't cut before they sit down. Don't cut after they've sat down. Cut in the middle of the move of them sitting down. Always, where possible, cut in the middle of the move. Number 2, always cut as the eyes leave frame. Don't cut once the eyes have left frame. Don't cut before the eyes leave frame. Cut as the eyes leave frame. A human blink lasts 3 frames of television. So often you'll find an edit doesn't work. It feels like it jumps or it's uncomfortable. And you can move it just 3 frames and suddenly it works and you can't understand why. It's because we're editing all the time. As we walk around our world, we blink as we look around. And that's us editing our world. And that's what we're trying to recreate as we do an edit, as we edit a film. So when someone's eyes leave frame, when someone's eyes disappear, we look for something else to look at. And that's why we edit as the eyes leave frame. Now, if it's one of these clunky, tedious news packages where we see someone walking down a street and the next minute they pop up on camera talking, well, there's no creativity going on there anyway, so all editing rules are out the window. But you'll notice what they have to do when that happens is they have to let the eyes leave frame and then leave it a beat or two before they cut to the shot. That's breaking the rule, but that's what you have to do. But generally always, number one, edit on the move. Number two, edit as the eyes leave frame. Now, I'm not going to suggest for 1 minute that that's editing explained. It's not. There is so much to editing. It's the part of the whole filmmaking process I enjoy the most because I believe it's the most creative part and there is so much to it. But observe those two basic rules and you'll find yourself streets ahead immediately.